Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another safety video about safe driving in your commercial or regular vehicle. Today we're going to talk about winter driving as we are in the winter months moving into what is usually the heaviest for precipitation, winter precipitation. We're going to talk a little bit about the winter driving and some winter tips, some things to take care of yourself and have yourself prepared and your vehicle prepared for the winter driving. So number one, have yourself prepared. Obviously, take proper gloves and hats and coats. Have yourself well prepared. Extra socks, underclothing, long johns, whatever you need to keep yourself warm during a situation. Have an extra blanket with you in your car. Have blankets for your passengers. If you're in a commercial vehicle, you should have blankets with you anyways, but always have your extra blankets, winter clothes, clothes for all kinds of weather. If you're driving over the road semi-truck, obviously you're going to need to have clothing for all types of weather conditions, because during the winter months, obviously you might be loading your truck in 80-degree weather and hot and sunny and wearing shorts and a t-shirt, and then you take the load to the destination in an area where you might be getting out of the truck and it's below zero with high winds and winter precipitation on the ground. So you will have to have different clothing for different weather and be prepared for all weather. So make sure that you are prepared. Also, if you're driving a 18-wheeler in the winter, obviously you're going to need to make sure during your pre-trip inspection that you have snow chains. Snow chains are required, obviously, in certain conditions in certain states and mountainous terrain that you may be driving into. If you are a driver that's been driving a while, you know this, but if you're just starting in the field, make sure you got winter chains, especially if you're an owner-operator where you're responsible for all of these items. Make sure you got winter chains with you if you're driving in the winter and driving into states that have certain requirements for chains and so on. You need to know that ahead of time and be prepared for all conditions. If you're driving a school bus, then you also need to make sure the children you're picking up at least have a coat on at the minimum, if not coat, hat, and gloves, to make sure they're prepared. That if you get out there and your bus happens to break down, or vehicle, which also applies to any vehicle, if you get out there in the winter conditions and your vehicle breaks down and the heat goes off in the vehicle, you might be stuck out there for however long it takes for help to get to you, a tow truck or someone rescue your vehicles to get there to your location. So you need to make sure you're prepared. Make sure your students in a school bus are prepared with warm clothing and coats and so on to keep them warm for an extended period of time in the vehicle without heat. And obviously in your cars and your regular automobiles and your trucks and your commercial vehicles, the same thing applies. Make sure you've got winter clothing, winter gloves, hats, blankets, things with you that will keep you warm for an extended period of time until help is able to arrive in the event that something happens and you break down, or you get into, heaven forbid, you get into a big pileup on the interstate, or you in somewhere where it could take several hours for rescuers or help to get to you. So you need to be prepared to be able to stay warm and keep yourself warm during these scenarios or situations. Your vehicle, before you ever leave the lot or leave your parking place, you need to make sure your vehicle is ready for the conditions. So, what does that mean? Make sure my vehicle is ready for the conditions. Well, are all your lights working? Which should be, if you're a commercial driver, that's going to be your basic pre-trip. But make sure all of your lights are working. Make sure your windshield wipers are working. Your windshield washers are working. Make sure your defrost fans are working. Make sure that the snow is cleared off of your vehicle to the best of your ability, that you don't have snow or ice that's going to fly off your vehicle and hit another vehicle, causing damage or problems, accidents. Make sure all of your lights are working and clear. Make sure that the snow and ice or whatever is clear off of your lights so other vehicles can see you. If you're driving down the road without doing that and your lights are covered up with snow, the other vehicles are not going to be able to see you, and the snow is going to blend in with obviously the other snow, and nobody will ever even see you at all because you blend into the other snow until it's too late. So make sure your lights are clear, your windows are all clear, so you have a clear line of sight in all directions. Your side windows, your windshield, your rear windows, make sure everything's cleared off. So not only you have a good line of sight, but your lights are cleared off so other drivers have a good clear line of sight of you to see you in plenty of time. Some commercial vehicle places, especially in the northern areas, and this includes school buses and other commercial vehicles, have snow removal stations where there are either brushes or rubber squeegees that are designed to come up and just barely touch the sides of your vehicle and the top of your vehicle in particular, and you drive through there, and it will brush all of that snow off of your vehicle as you drive through it. That way you're not risking having snow and ice and debris flying off of your vehicle onto the roadway or into somebody's windshield behind you. So clearing off your wipers, clearing off the snow and debris and stuff off your vehicle, clearing your windows, make sure you have a good line of sight. Make sure your tires are properly inflated and you have proper tread depth. In the commercial vehicles, your front tires, your steer tires, should be no less than 4/32 of an inch of tread on those front tires. If you have less than that, they are not safe to give you adequate traction, especially in winter conditions or wet road conditions. Make sure you have no less than 4/32 tread depth on those front tires or your steer tires. And the rear tires should have no less than 2/32 tread depth on the drive tires or rear tires of your vehicle. The rear tires, drive tires, should have no less than 2/32 of an inch of tread depth on them in order to adequately get you the proper traction you'll need during winter conditions or even wet road conditions year round. Braking and acceleration. When obviously, if you're in winter conditions, icy, slick, snowy roads, you need to use gentle acceleration in taking off. and gentle braking, gentle steering. Basically, all of the aspects of driving your vehicle needs to be done in extreme caution. And if you happen to be driving and you do start to go into a slide or a skid, do not, and I repeat, do not jab on the brakes. You will go into a worse situation by doing that. You need to just let completely off of the brake and the accelerator. Do not touch either one, brake or accelerator, and allow your vehicle to coast back into control again. And if you do that immediately, 90% of the time you're going to be able to regain control of the vehicle. Once you have regained control of the vehicle, allow it to coast down to a safe speed, and then maintain that safe speed with gentle acceleration and gentle braking, gentle steering. No sudden steering moves. If you get behind somebody and you have to move lanes to get around them, before you ever change lanes, check your mirrors, make sure you're clear to do that. There's nothing around you, which is a basic of any time. And then look at the road you're on. Is the lane you're traveling in clear? Where the snowplows have gone through, traffic has gone through, and the road is moderately clear in that lane. Look at the lane that you're going to need to move into to get around this vehicle safely. Make sure that lane is also safe to travel the speed that you're traveling in your current lane. And many times on a divided highway during a storm, that passing lane is not going to be clear or nearly as clear as the lane you're in. Maybe it is. So now you've already looked the situation over. You've determined that yes, I can safely travel in that lane at the same speed and I will be fine. Okay, great. Now you need to also look at your transition points. So when you transition from that lane over to the other lane, are there any small humps of ice and snow built up where the traffic has not been running it down? And if there are, you still decide that yes, I need to get around this vehicle, then you need to let off all acceleration, all braking, use absolutely no acceleration and no braking, and gently transition yourself across those humps into the other lane with gentle, gradual movement of your steering wheel, and move yourself over to that lane. Then you can use gentle acceleration to get yourself back up to speed and around that vehicle. And then if you're ready to move back over, again, the same principle. Let off all your brakes, let off all your acceleration, use gentle, easy motion, and steer back across the humps of ice and snow. Get back in your safe travel spot, and then use gentle acceleration to continue on your way. This will allow you to be safe on the road at all times. So, quick recap: coat, hat, and gloves for yourself, coat, hat, and gloves for students or passengers. Check your vehicle. Make sure it's safe to be on the road and others can see you and you can see out. Brush off all the lights and tires. Check your tires for tread depth and proper pressure. Use gentle acceleration, gentle steering movements, and gentle braking, and this will keep you safe on the winter roads in winter conditions. Thank you. Bye now.